My name is Robyn Ferguson. I'm a university student, actually just coming to the end of my 4-year degree. I work in the public relations industry, working for an agency. What brought me into Calgary Counseling Centre was, I guess it was kind of halfway through the pandemic, last summer. So I was going through a bit of a hard time. I was in a bit of a coming out of a relationship and kind of felt like I lost who I was a little bit. So I think that was the biggest part for me, was that I didn't really know who I was anymore. So my self-esteem was pretty much on the floor. I had a lot of low self-worth. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. I didn't feel like my friends wanted to be around me, and all of these kind of really self-deprecating kind of thoughts. With that, I started seeing a counselor one-on-one, and I was making pretty good progress, and I really liked her, and I felt like we really got along well, and felt like she pushed me to do better and to kind of get my homework done. Before starting counseling with the Calgary Counseling Centre, I've actually never done counseling before, and I've talked about it and I've thought about it. But I always felt like, my feelings are not bad enough to need it, or, I'm not low enough to need it. But I think it's something that could be beneficial before you reach that point of being low enough. Like getting help before you're at the bottom, I think is way more valuable. Not more valuable, but just as valuable as getting help when you're feeling really low. So then it came to a point where she suggested joining one of the groups that the Calgary Counseling Centre offers, which was a self-esteem group that she felt like would be really beneficial to my growth. So I decided to go for that. So with that, I kind of slowed down my one-on-one counseling, and then eventually stopped my one-on-one counseling to join a 12-week self-esteem group program. For my one-on-one counseling, some of the best tools that I left with, I found that she was just so multidisciplinary. I felt like she had a lot of knowledge, not only in traditional counseling, but also things that felt a little bit more spiritual in a way. And I think that kind of really touched me in a way that I could get a little bit more in touch with my spiritual side. I'm an Indigenous woman, so for me that is very important to be able to almost bring those two things together. Is a little bit of spirituality and mental health. So that was really valuable for me working with my one-on-one counselor. The individual and the group counseling transformed me as a person by really just giving me the tools to help myself. I think when it comes to counseling, a lot of wariness is, people, they don't know me. How are they going to be able to help me? They don't know what I've been through. But it's less about knowing you and them finding everything out about you, and more about giving you the tools to learn more about yourself and to figure things out on your own and to grow and heal on your own. But I'd say the number one takeaway was an exercise that we did about values. It was just a huge list of all the different things that you could potentially value. We picked all the things that were important and then ranked them on most important, and then we were able to pick out kind of the top 10 most important values. And I recognized that pretty much all my values were something that I let go of in my relationship, and it was something that I needed to get more in touch with and to almost find myself again. So that's something I've been working on, and something I've been focusing on is that these are some values that I have, and I need to stay true to them. So there's something about talking to strangers and connecting with people that you don't know that is easier almost to get your feelings out, because you don't feel as judged. You don't feel like those people are going to come back and use it against you or something. Maybe that's my trust issues talking, but I think there's just something really special about sharing your feelings with strangers. So I've done all my counseling online, which at first, again, I was nervous about that as well. Maybe not having the same connection that you might be able to have with someone in person. But also being being a little bit on like the nervous side, I think it was helpful being in the comfort of my own home and almost having that like screen between us. There's just like a little bit of comfort in that knowing you're still vulnerable, but you don't have to be as vulnerable right away. And also, something very important, Calgary counseling is so affordable. Uh, that was something I worried about a lot, actually, was how much things were going to cost, because it's on a sliding scale and I'm a student and things, are a little bit tight with money. I was able to get the counseling I needed for a very low, reasonable price that didn't make me feel like I was struggling even further for money. So it didn't add any extra stress in terms of money or anything, which I think was a huge factor in choosing to get counseling from Calgary Counseling Center. So it's so accessible and it's for everyone.